My name is Donald Hunt. I am a student at Grand Canyon University working towards a master's degree in instructional technology. This video is for course UNV501. I've been a teacher for 22 years, most of that time teaching 6th grade math and science with an occasional English and social studies class. For the past 2 years, however, I've been teaching full-time computer science exploratory classes. It's been a big jump going from core classes to an exploratory environment, but so far I really like it. There are a few dispositions that contribute to being a successful teacher, and I believe I have a couple. After all, teaching for 22 years with very few complaints and they keep asking me back, I must be doing something right. So one of the biggest and most important dispositions that I believe I possess is that how we treat students. Doesn't matter what their background is or where they came from, how much money their families have, how important their parents may be in the community. All students should always be treated with the utmost respect. Even when they're misbehaving, and sometimes really misbehaving, they're still humans and we all have value. So when we do things like talk down to students or are unnecessarily dismissive of them, we not only discount that value, but we also lower ourselves. Another very important disposition is to be dedicated to the field of education. Unlike other professions where you can put forth effort without conviction and still be successful, teaching requires commitment. If a teacher just goes through the motions in the classroom, everyone knows. The students won't be motivated, the teacher will burn out, and everybody suffers. What we teachers do can affect students for the rest of their lives. We have to be physically, emotionally, and psychologically invested in doing the best we can to serve our students, their families, and the community at large. An area I need to work on is my differentiation of lessons. It's difficult to take into account the different learning styles of all my students. This was more of an issue when I taught math and science. Fortunately, not as much of an issue now that I'm teaching all exploratory classes. But there are so many ways to teach math concepts that it's impossible to teach them all. And I found that when I taught multiple strategies for any particular concept, I would often fall behind in the scope and sequence. Finding that balance between getting through the curriculum and teaching multiple modalities is very difficult, and that was something that I never really was able to master. A teacher should look like a teacher, though it's not a one-size-fits-all dress code. For example, my father was a police officer in our hometown for about 15 years, so of course he wore a uniform. However, he switched careers when I was in junior high and became a school teacher, later a counselor, and then an administrator before he retired. Every day he wore a coat and tie to work. Conversely, I have a few colleagues today that wear shorts and flip-flops very often. And other teachers, particularly new teachers, sometimes wear clothing that's a little too revealing. I find that that's a little bit too casual for an academic environment. Again, there's no set rule, but schools are institutions of learning. And that casualness goes for the way teachers behave as well. We should act like professionals. And as I previously mentioned, we need to treat everyone with respect. Teachers have a huge responsibility, and we should not take that lightly. Education is one of the most important factors in our society. We should treat it with humility and reverence.